Welcome to the real law of attraction. There's a lot of videos on the law of attraction. There are books, and it's something that many people try to, use as the go-between, actual reality and, the spiritual world. It's like we know there's this power, there's this possibility that we have to do things, but we don't know how to really tap into it. We don't know how it really works. And we know when things that we can't explain happen, or when we put energy into something and we see the rewards, and it's almost a spiritual thing. And, people call it the law of attraction. You basically put out what you want and attract it to yourself. And we do this normally. This is not something that is like a power or something. This is something that we do on a normal basis most of the time. And for religious people, when it happens, they say it's God. So when you're struggling and the pressure is on you now, and this is what happens a lot of times, the pressure is on you, and you got to get up this money for rent, or you're running around trying to do something, important. And then it seems as if, it's a struggle or it's hopeless, but you don't realize how much work and time you put in trying to rectify the situation, that you created an atmosphere to fix the problem. And thus, boom, it happens. And people say, thank God. And it's really the law of attraction. And you created the atmosphere. The biggest way of going about this is understanding how important believing is. Believing is one of the biggest keys to the whole thing, because having belief is going to shape how everything is going to happen. As I said before, the two worst things that you can have in your existence is doubt and fear. Plain and simple. Doubt and fear is going to hinder any type of progression that you're trying to make, inwardly, on a spiritual level. Doubt and fear will destroy that completely. It will be gone, because if you have doubt and fear, that's an internal thing. And it's one of the reasons why religion is important and plays a major role in controlling us. Is because it really instills that doubt and fear within yourself. And if you're not putting energy within yourself, nothing is going to work for you. So getting into the law of attraction, what is that? What is that really? So most people think it's some kind of magical power, as I said, that you're going to have, that you can simply sit there and think and attract stuff to you. But there's a very real work behind it. And the biggest thing I'm going to be talking about through this video is creating that atmosphere that is conducive to what you're trying to attract. So why don't we as conscious people believe in the Bible? Why don't we believe in this stuff as conscious people? Why don't we believe in the superstitions and, all of the hocus pocus stuff the Bible talks about? Because it seems far-fetched. It seems not believable. It seems like what the Bible is talking about is fairy tale stuff. So this is one of the things. If you are a conscious, rational person, you understand that these things are not possible. It's something that is not possible. And it's going to take you being a rational, conscious person to attract or use the law of attraction. And if you want to attract something, then it has to be within the realm of possibility. So the thing is, we get so caught up in the system, and we're going to get into this in this video because it's really here to hinder this. And you may think, okay, if you broke today, you got $0. You probably thinking, well, 6 months to a year from now, it's impossible for me to become a millionaire. You may have the hope, but there's doubt within you that it's possible based upon the course your life is going. So you thinking like, well, I'm not going to be a millionaire next year. I'm not going to be a millionaire in 6 months. But there's a very real possibility that you can be. It's possible for it to happen. And as soon as you put into yourself that, doubt that it can't happen, nothing is going to come within your atmosphere, or you're killing the atmosphere that you need to create for this to happen. The biggest thing is, if it's not something that you're striving for anyway, it's never going to happen. Now, you're going to work. You have already committed to work. This is going to go over a lot of people's head, but a lot of people want to understand this. You're dug in. You dug into waking up. You dug into taking a drive or taking a bus. You dug into going to work and operating within that work environment and doing what you have to do work-wise. You're dug in. You dug in with a schedule, a time, bosses, supervisors, the people you have to answer to, customers. You're dug into that. That is in you. And it's one of the reasons why we call it the entrepreneurial spirit, because you have to have that in order to break out of this rat race. So the rat race have you conducive to your job, and the entrepreneurial spirit is a freedom. It's a freedom that you completely change your mindset away from these things. And then you're going to basically focus on you and use your own energy to create an atmosphere that's going to be conducive to what you want to succeed in or what you want to bring into your life. This is big. You got to understand this. So your atmosphere is created for you by something else. It's outside of you. You didn't create it. You accepted what you're in. We accept the system. You accept this job. And this is what you go about your day using your energy to fulfill. So the atmosphere you need to create to attract what you want is not even there. So if your goal is to be a millionaire by next year, but you're looking at your life and you're saying to yourself inwardly, you're lamenting to yourself, it's not going to happen. It's impossible. I got to do this. I got to do that. Then, like I said, you're destroying that. You're destroying the energy that you need to create for this to happen. And you're not programming yourself to make it happen, which we'll get into this as far as meditation. So it's not saying on the flip side that, if you're just super positive all the time, and you just always constantly say, because a lot of people who do this, some of you probably do it as well, and you try to focus your mind on saying, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this, I will. Because you're saying that because deep down you're doubting yourself. Doubt and fear are two worst things. You don't really believe it. That's why you're saying it. You don't really believe it. That's why you're trying to, I will. This is not, you shouldn't go that route, because you have to be confident. You have to believe. So this is going to make a lot of sense. We get into the biblical part of this. And there's a reason why in the Bible you have belief and you have faith. This is things we never really touched on in a lot of my videos about what this really is geared to that we're going to get into in this video. So belief and faith, two powerful things, but misdirected at the wrong thing. And belief and faith in what? If you don't have it in yourself, there's no point, because anything outside of you is not going to bring you what you want. It has to start with you. So if you don't have belief and faith in yourself, game over. You cannot move forward. You cannot attract what you want because you don't even believe you can have it in the first place. So we have been brought up in a system that is conducive to us having doubt, fear, worry, stress about very real things that's obtainable that we see all the time. And we have a system that gives us advertisements and commercials or what have you to leave us wanting for these things. So your recourse, your thought into getting these things is what? Go out and work. And you work hard, and many people can't afford the things that they see and the things that they really want because your mind is not really focused on that thing. It's not the singular goal of your life. It's just something that you want. And now, since most people don't even know the singular goal they want in their life, they just want to make money. And the only way they know how to do this is to go to work. So this is what they do. Work. And then time passes. You never even get in create an atmosphere that's going to bring you what you really want. So by saying to yourself, I will, you're already putting doubt within yourself. Whereas a person who has, took the necessary steps to do what they need to do to get what they want, they're confident in their direction. They're confident. They're moving on to the next step. They're moving on to the next thing that they have to do because they understand they already laid the groundwork for what they want. Now, example is this. If you want a job, what should you do? I'm going to go online. I'm going to apply. I'm going to go out and I'm put in applications. I'm going to pound the pavement. I'm going to look around. I'm going to search. And then eventually you'll get the job. But see, most people will say, well, of course he got the job because he did all that work. He put all that work and time and effort in and he got the job. But, you have to think about it. Even if you do all of that, the final decision isn't yours. And you're doing something that other people probably done as well, applying for the same job you apply for. How did you get it? And this is, again, one of the reasons why when people know you go to a job interview and you sit down and there's 6, 8 people waiting to get the job, and then you get the phone call, thank you, Jesus. But you didn't realize how much work you put behind that and its atmosphere you created. If this is something that you really needed, you already established a mindset that this is what I needed, and your mind is focused on it. You're stressed about it, you're worried about it, but you put in the necessary work to make it happen, and it happened. Work is an important thing. Now, you're going to have to decipher the difference between the law of attraction and works and deeds. And then you have to realize that they go hand in hand, that one cannot be without the other. So the works is going to create the atmosphere that you need for this, law of attraction to work for you. So it starts with building an atmosphere around you. As I said, if a job is what you're trying to attract, you got to go and pound the pavement and go and look. And as I said, to most people, you're going to say, of course, if you keep pounding the pavement and putting in a bunch of job applications, you will eventually get the job. And that's exactly the thinking you should have. Plain and simple. Of course, you should have that thinking, because now you're confident about what you're doing and the works that you put in to achieve your goal. You put the work in. So, of course, you should be thinking, well, yeah, I'm going to get this job. You shouldn't have the fear, the doubt, and the worry that you will not. When you put the work in, you pounded the pavement, and then your works is going to pay off. You should have this confidence, not arrogance. It's a confidence in what you have done in creating this atmosphere for yourself. Whereas fear and doubt is the hindrance of progress. Fear and doubt is going to kill any progress that you're going to have. And the biggest thing you can do to somebody when they're trying to do anything is to strip away their confidence and instill fear and doubt and make them worry. This is why so many people are depressed and they get super emotional when they see certain things, because, one of the things that people always tell me when I'm debating the Bible is, as I talked about this, people have a lot of hope and faith, in the religion working, because they have so much fear and doubt in their own lives, and they have to look to religion because they don't believe in themselves to accomplish any of these goals. They want something, special outside of themselves to, help them out. And the minute you do that, the minute you destroy the atmosphere that's going to attract what you want. So when people say to me, why do you destroy religion? Why do you talk about people's faith and their hope? Because I understand what they understand, that faith and belief, plain and simple, faith and belief in this religion is going to destroy any progress that you try to make for yourself. Because if at any moment you feel like you got to drop to your knees and bow your head and pray to this God for any type of help, then you have already lost hope in yourself. You have already come to a place to where you don't believe in yourself enough to accomplish this goal, that you have to drop and pray for something supernatural to happen in order for you to get it. So you have no faith. You have no hope in your own self. You have no belief in you. So you're not even creating, as I said, the atmosphere to attract. Like I said, it's going to make a lot of sense. You're not creating the atmosphere to attract anything to you, because you took that and put it outside yourself into something else that is not even real, that does not exist. So again, most of the time when we have things work for us and we pray, it's because the situation is so serious. And then you go do everything you probably should have did in the first place, and it works. And then people say, well, I prayed to God and it worked out. No, you created the atmosphere for it to work. You went out and did what you had to do to make it work. Studied last minute for the test. You studied, you crammed real hard, you passed the test. It's because the pressure was on, and then you finally did what you were supposed to do in the first place instead of procrastinating. This is why churches are in the Black neighborhoods. So you have to look at this whole thing and understand what's taking place. So you have a church that's in a poor neighborhood that people have been going to all their lives. The neighborhood is still poor. The church is still there. What's the problem? That should tell you right there, the church is the problem, because there's been no progression in the Black neighborhoods. Many neighborhoods you go in still to this day, the neighborhood is the same. It might be a new Chinese store or a new convenience store, but the neighborhood is the same, same stuff going on. And the people are still there, still in poverty, still poor, because they're giving their energy to this church, to this religion, and not to themselves. So common sense will tell you, you've been going to this church for years, trying to get your life together and trying to be successful. It ain't the church. So people go to church, but they go to work as well. And then you go to work and you make a little couple of dollars. You're able to get some repairs done on your house and, get some things done and go on vacation. And some people are content with that and believing that it's God helping them out when it's just you doing what you're supposed to do. It's the stuff I talked about before. So you have poor people, you have working middle class people that go to church. They have two different types of prayers. Poor people just trying to get ahead. Working middle class people is hoping to pay their mortgage off and be able to go on vacation and get a new car. And it's two separate types of energies there. And you have to understand that the church is not going to do anything for them, for any one of them. It's only going to be their own works and deeds and the atmosphere that you create that's going to bring you out of those situations. It's just that simple. So the very real understanding of the law of attraction, it's you, plain and simple. Is you putting in the work and creating the atmosphere for something to happen. It's not going to happen if you don't do that. So if you're sitting and you're praying for something, thinking it's going to happen, or you think you're going to get it because you're a good person or because you want it, it's not going to happen unless you put in work. You have to create the atmosphere for it. So there's so many examples that we can give, because think about boxing. You want to be a boxer. How do you create that atmosphere? Well, you got to want to be a boxer. You have to be in the gym. You have to put time in the gym. You have to work towards your craft, towards your sport. Same thing with anything you do. Now, again, to you, it's going to be like, well, duh, of course. Where's the real law of attraction? It's because you're thinking the law of attraction is this power. And it is, but it's you. It's this very easy, understandable energy. And, energy attracts like energy. That energy is out there. So boxing exists, don't it? People have been boxing for years, haven't they? That energy is there. How are you going to attract it to yourself? Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to have the mindset of this boxing. I'm going to put in the works for boxing. I'm going to go to the gym and surround myself with that energy. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to bring it to yourself. It's going to happen. It's the same thing when we say, well, if you surround yourself with a bunch of successful people, you're going to be successful. 5 successful people around you, you're going to be number 6. 5 losers around you, you're going to be number 6, because that's the energy that is conducive to your atmosphere that you surround yourself with. Everybody going out robbing, they're going out stealing, they're not doing anything. They're trying to bring you with them at every moment. Anytime you try to do anything, next thing you know, you got something to do with them. But if you have successful people, everything that they do is rubbing off on you. They're giving you advice, they're giving you pointers, they're helping you create the atmosphere that you need to be successful like them. This is why it's important. And we say this, and it sounds so simple, but it doesn't register. It sounds simple to you, but if it's not registering and you're not applying it to your life, nothing is going to happen. This is going to go over so many people's head. You're going to be stuck in the thought of possibility. You understand? It's possible that you can get this stuff. And possibility is, what people do with religion. Well, God is all powerful. So the reason why we believe that any little stupid thing the Bible says is possible, because we believe God is all possible, and anything that's possible, he can make happen. So when we say stuff like, well, how does the Bible say that no man has seen God? And then it says, Moses seen him and Jacob seen him and Elder Solomon ate with him. See, people can't fathom that's a direct contradiction, but they believe in all possibility when it comes to God. So anything is possible. Stuff that's stupid, walking on water, surviving 3 days in the fish. They believe it's possible because God can do anything. They believe in those possibilities.